And as I mentioned earlier, Local 4's own Evrod Cassimy has tested positive for the coronavirus. That's why most of our morning team is working remotely from home, including Rhonda Walker. She's joining us live here right now. We're going to talk to Evrod in just a moment. But first, Rhonda, you've been told to self-quarantine until April, just like many of those in the newsroom right now.
Yes, and it is definitely a surreal time for our entire morning team, as it is for everyone who is watching us at home. Each day we're just trying to adjust to and adapt to the changes in this new normal for all of us. And so yesterday we got the call from management that Evrod tested positive for the coronavirus, and immediately they had all of us shelter in place, stay home, not come to work. I was probably one of the stubborn ones that wanted to come into the office just to reassure people that I'm okay and that everything's okay and that Local 4 News is still on the air. But out of an abundance of caution, Evrod's last day at work was Tuesday, and so now we're on our 8th day, and now that we know that he tested positive, we're all staying home until next week on Wednesday, so a full 14 days. But I should mention, I have no symptoms. I feel completely fine. I have felt fine, but it's a much different story for my co-anchor, and that's where all of our thoughts and prayers are right now, because he has had a tough past week dealing with the symptoms that are not common for coronavirus. So that's why he was never diagnosed until just a day ago. But he joins us now on the phone just to talk us through a little bit more of this journey that he's been on, and also, of course, the message for everyone right now. So Evrod, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rhonda.
So I think a lot of people are obviously praying for you. We're praying for you and your family. If you could just talk us through a little bit more. I know we talked with you last hour, but just a little bit more about how you're feeling and what your life has been like the past week.
I'm hurting today. For me, coronavirus has been excruciating pain. I went home after work on Tuesday, just in a tiny bit of pain, just enough to sleep it off and be okay. And after I slept, it, intensified, and I took the day off the next day, that Wednesday of last week, and that's when the nightmare began. I mean, it was excruciating pain all over my body, crippling pain that I couldn't even roll over in bed. And, standing up wasn't an option. Every morning brushing my teeth, I couldn't get out of bed. That wasn't an option. And eventually ramping up the pain meds that I was taking to try and calm everything down, because, doctors were telling me I don't have coronavirus symptoms. I, if anything, have some sort of other type of virus. And, eventually there were other things that came along with it, like vomiting. And I think there was one night, last night in the morning, that I just said, there is something really, really wrong, because the pain had shifted. And I said, I need to go immediately to the ER. And that's when we found out.
And so I think we should mention now, because the first thing you think of is, how in the world did I catch this? And what we have learned about coronavirus is people can walk around with no symptoms and be carriers of this virus and are able to spread it to others. But we should mention, you haven't been traveling. There's been no international travel. There's no idea how you could have contracted this.
Yeah, I have no clue. I, like everybody else, once this thing started ramping up, our station's got hand sanitizer, alcohol sprays everywhere. And I used it just because it was there. Not because I felt, I touched something. No, if it was there, I used it. I washed my hands at home. I sang Happy Birthday. I sang Staying Alive. I even sang my own music, like making sure that my hands were washed thoroughly. And somehow I still got it. I'm confused. I haven't traveled. I never had a fever. I never had a cough. My breathing's always been fine. It's just a lot of aches and pains, and it's the worst pain and aches that I've ever had in my entire life.
And we should mention, too, you're at home. I mean, you went to the hospital, you weren't feeling well yesterday, but they sent you home. And that is certainly a good sign compared to some other people and some of the other images that we're seeing of people that are extremely ill. You're a healthy guy, and it's certainly comfort to me and a lot of people that know and love you that you're able to recover from home.
That is so important. And let me just tell you, it was hours at the hospital. And about halfway through, is when I got the diagnosis from the nurse, who was one of the greatest nurses that I've ever had. And it was weird to go from wondering what is wrong and what's causing all this agonizing pain to finding out you have corona and just completely losing it on the hospital bed emotionally. And then hearing, but you're going to be okay. We're going to be sending you home a little bit later today. It was the most welcome news. But then while I was there, you know, you hear about other things that are happening, and, you know, you hear about the people that are dying from this and people that are having to be put on ventilators. And I just thank God that I'm going to be okay. I said a prayer for all those people that are really, really battling this, the people that have lost loved ones, because this is a nasty, nasty virus. And if I can use my story as just a word of advice to people, not just to wash your hands and to sanitize, but just to stay home, because you don't want to pass this along to anybody. No one.
Absolutely.
Not your sibling, not your spouse, not your parents, not your children. Stay home and stay safe.
Absolutely. And that means not visiting each other, stay in your own house, away from others. And if you do have to leave for any type of errands, like we've mentioned, which should only be the grocery store or your doctor's office, which in most cases, they don't want you to go to the doctor's office either unless you have those common symptoms of coronavirus. But if you have to, that 6 feet of physical distance is so important. So, Evrod, our thoughts are with you. We love you. The entire community loves you. Keep getting better. We're praying for you and your family.
I just want to say a huge thank you. I know a lot of people have reached out to me via email, via social media, direct messages. A lot of people that know me personally have texted me, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for caring. It really shows how much that you are loved by people, and I am not able to read every single message yet or to reply to every single message, but just know that I got them, and they've really made this past week bearable, because I know that I've got to fight to get healthy. So thank you.
Yes. Well, we are sending you all of our collective strength as a community, and we are all in this together, Evrod. So we love you. We are praying for you to get and feel better really, really soon. And to everyone out there who's watching us this morning, the message is stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. And Nick, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, it is an eye-opening perspective to hear from Evrod on how this can affect an otherwise healthy person, how painful it can be.
It certainly is.